My name is Kevin Horton. I'm a brand consultant. I run a consulting group called Stand.On.Your.Brand. I just built an online school for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. Building the courses out now for the school, and I'll be targeting basically entrepreneurs and those that are like on the fence between, you know, 1 foot in the door, a 9 to 5, and 1 foot out the door. Okay. So when I was in high school, the way I kind of set my mind towards entrepreneurship was actually a network marketing company by the name of ACN. So basically, it was a telecommunications company. Donald Trump was at the time endorsing the company. That's how I read all like Robert Kiyosaki's books. And this was at an early age. I was like 16, 17, traveling around the country, meeting a bunch of people, meeting, you know, people that had not only been in that business but other businesses as well. And that's kind of got my mind wrapped around it. Like, okay, cool. You know, people are making money doing other things. You know, I don't have to work till I'm 60 years old and stuff like that. So I always had that mindset that I want to do something else aside from a regular 9 to 5. And that's why I chose loss prevention, because it was really laid back. There was no one like on top of me, do this, do that. It was like, okay, you catch some bad guys today? Yeah, I got 5. Cool. And then I wouldn't hear from my manager for like 6 months. Oh, wow. And that's how it always was. Like, as long as you're producing and you have the numbers, no one really bothered you. So I kind of just worked my way up the ladder with that. And I don't have a college degree, so it wasn't bad. And the offer that they had on the table wasn't bad either for someone that didn't graduate high school. But at the end of the day, it was like, it didn't make sense. I mean, yeah, you're making the money, but you don't have any time to spend the money. You're working 6 days a week, you're working holidays, you're working Saturdays, sometimes you work Sundays, you're on call. So it didn't make sense at the end of the day for me. So then how I got into branding in particular, I used to ghostwrite. So I used to write papers for undergrads, grad students, master's students, and I wrote a business plan for someone. And you know, how it usually would go is, Kev, can you write this paper for me? Sure. What's it on? I don't know. Here's the assignment. Just, it's due in like 3 days. So I'm like, okay. So I wrote the business plan, something real generic. And the girl who I wrote the business plan for, she called me like a few weeks later. Yeah, I got an A+. The professor liked the paper so much, he said I should go ahead and actually go along with the business plan. And I was like, oh, cool. Didn't hear from her for like a while after that. So the person who referred her to me, I reached out to her and I was like, yeah, what happened to your friend when I wrote the business plan for her? Oh, well, she graduated, you know, with her master's, and now she's in California. I think she created the company with the business plan that she wrote. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, you should call her. And I was like, okay, cool. So I reached out to her. She's like, yeah, I'm doing the company now. Hope you're not asking me for any money. And I was like, no, I don't want any money. You pay for the paper, but I mean, how's it going? She's like, yeah, it's going great. You know, just a couple, you know, hiccups here and there, but you know, for the most part, you know, she's, you know, and I think this is like 5 years ago, but I think like 2 years ago she hit 6 figures. Oh wow. Yeah, it's a dog walking company / like a pet sitting thing or whatever. So I think she had started it out here. She was saying in Jersey City, and then she went out to California because it's like everyone has dogs everywhere, so you can pretty much do that anywhere. So she thinks she bought like some property out there, and she just housed it. She actually sits the dogs there, and they bring the dogs there for the day. So instead of her having to go to their house and be in charge of, I gotta pick up these dogs, she just has a location where they drop the dogs off for the day. Yeah. So she gets paid to walk them, she gets paid for the day. So she's pretty good. So I thought to myself, well, if I can write a business plan for someone, why don't I, chase my dreams and do what I want to do? So basically got some people together that complement, my skill set. Got some people in the marketing, some web designers, some logo, visual identity designers, and I built a consulting group. So right now we're going to be going on a year in November. So we're doing pretty good. I'm growing, got a lot of clientele and stuff like that we're working with. So just basically building on the company and expanding. So with the online school will be another vehicle as well to reach more people. So instead of me having to be over here, consulting, now the same steps I go through with the consult, they can go on and take those same steps to the course for personal branding, and then the next course will be for business branding. So basically, say someone wants to form some type of entity. It may be a non-profit, maybe an LLC, small business, something like that. The course will show them those steps. If it's because a lot of people don't know. Yeah. So they gave me the idea. Oh, I got this idea to do such and such. What should I do? Sounds like it'd be better to do a nonprofit. How do nonprofits get paid? What kind of nonprofit? There's a whole bunch of different nonprofits. 501(c)(3) or 4. So basically, I'll basically lay everything out for them, based on what the business plan calls for. Yeah. And I'll go from there. So I'm not even sure how I actually came about to find out about it. I think I was just online browsing the internet or whatever, and something came up, and that was something about courses. I think it was Udemy or something like that, but it's not through Udemy. It's actually through Teachable. So I found it. And I was like, oh, cool. I could probably do something like this for what I do. So I just basically did some research on it. Reached out to some people that already have courses on the platform, and they got really great reviews. And actually got to speak to the person who started it. They've only been in business for about 2 years, but I mean, they have courses for stuff like, I think this lady, she sells a course for watercoloring. She's made $200,000 in 2 years. They got some really small niche courses in there. So I figured, well, I think I have a niche that's great, and a lot of people are looking for it. So I figured, I could do something with that and put my courses out there just to be information for people, because a lot of people don't know, a lot of things. So basically, for me, doing a free beginner course to intro to branding, to personal branding. So basically, it'll start as a foundation. So as a foundation for the course, you'll learn about branding. The second course would be personal branding, because a lot of people, they have a business, but they don't understand that their business is an extension of them. You see on the news all the time, people, losing their company, or even when sports figures, they do stuff in the limelight, it gets trickled down to whatever endorsements they have and stuff like that. That is their personal brand. They're tarnishing not only their personal brand, but whoever is endorsing them. Whatever company they're endorsing, they want to be shedding that light, so they drop them from their endorsements. A lot of people don't understand. Some people don't separate their business from their personal. Spend a lot of time with entrepreneurs, just kind of drilling that to their head. You can't put things on your social media because it's hurting your business, and you don't even know it. Like my barber, for instance, he'll put pictures on his site, on his social media, on his Instagram for, with him cutting hair. But then the next picture or infographic or something like that would be him saying some controversial thing, and it doesn't align with, someone else's values, but that can be your customer that you've had for 10, 15 years. Yeah. You feel this way, okay, well, I'm not going to support you anymore. And he doesn't understand that can hurt your business. And if this is the only thing you do, the only income stream that you have, I suggest that you protect it as best you can. And then just basically helping people like clean up the social media, and we do social media marketing basically. So we'll sit down with someone and we'll show them, how to go about building that credibility for their target audience. So that's basically what the course is going to be about. This will be a foundation, basically go from how you start to how you build up that credibility within your personal brand and your business brands. I would like to have a physical presence in every major metropolitan area in the United States, and then go abroad to other countries and help like Africa, people in Africa that want to start companies and businesses and stuff like that, help them go and build up, with the ideas that they have. So that's where I kind of want to take it. Right now I feel like I have a kind of a strong foothold where we are now on the East Coast. So I'll, with me moving out west, I'll retain those clients, virtually, and I'll go out to California and start things up there. But the course will help a lot as far as that being another vehicle to help people and reach out to a lot more people where I can't be physically, because I'm still the instructor of the course. So there'll be a limit as to how many people will be in the class, because I'm sure they'll be asking lots of questions. So I don't want 1,000 people in the course for one set period of time, because then I'll be answering 1,000 emails. So I'll put like a cap on that. But yeah, I just want to expand. I want to expand the company, help as many people as I can. It's about helping people realize, that they don't, whatever dream they have, they don't have to put it away, stuff like that. I know life gets in the way. You have kids, and 6 months after you get out of school, you can't find a job, so you settle for whatever's there. So then you may become complacent in whatever job you have, and then it's just like, okay, you may feel stuck, but you're not stuck. You're never stuck, especially if you're young and it's like, I'm going to be doing this until I'm 60-something years old. Like, you work 365 days out of the year, you get 2 vacations. If that, you work 40 hours, that's probably, you can notch that up to about 60 hours a week. But you got people like, creating, I always say your idea away from freedom, right? So you may have idea, maybe the next thing, and it'll catapult you to a whole nother stratosphere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the guy with the spinners. Like, that was created, like, I think 10 years ago, but it wasn't that popular. But he just brought it back out. Yeah, he just, like, took something and, innovated it, and now everyone's paying for spinners. So it's like, and it's the simplest of things, you never know what idea will take you, to the next level. I mean, look at Uber and Airbnb. I mean, they didn't recreate anything. They just took an idea and they put their spin on it, and look at them now. They're millionaires, billionaires. So you never know. You never know. So my aim is to help those people out, and as many people as possible. The first thing I'll ask when I meet someone, what's your target audience? And they don't really give me a clear answer. It's always, everyone. You can't market to everyone. Apple, the most successful brand in the world, doesn't market to everyone. Their demographic are, well, women, because women shop more than guys, and there's more women on the earth, but their demographic is women from 33 and up. And the middle class, and they have a price point. They don't market to everyone, but they don't need to. So that's one thing. You gotta know your target audience. You gotta make a connection, that personal and emotional connection with your target audience. So the better you know your target audience, the better you can reach out to them. If you don't know your target audience, then you're just kind of like a shot in the dark. Whoever bites, and then you'll never grow that way. Another thing is personal branding. You have to know that you are an extension of your company. So you have to a lot of people, when they're promoting their business, they don't promote themselves. So, you know, you have to do that as well, because you are like Oprah. I always use Oprah as a great example. You'll never see Oprah on Love and Hip Hop. She may she may be ratchet as the people on there, but you'll never see Oprah on Love and Hip Hop because it doesn't align with her brand. You know, and I always tell people she built the brand over a long span of 20 years period, but she did it without social media. She's not a self-made billionaire, but pretty much, right? She built a conglomerate, and now she has her own TV, her own network. You know, so it's all about branding yourself, putting yourself out there, and building that credibility with your audience. You know, when she did her show, she saw, you know, most of her audience was female. I think like 99%. I would watch the show sometimes. I wouldn't see any guys in the audience except the camera guy, but that was her niche. You know, she related to her audience, and they you know, they supported her. So the more you relate to your audience, the more you know your target audience, the better you be positioned like for success. You know, the common mistake they make, you have to have an online presence. That's just where everything is. I meet people all the time. They say, I'm not an online person. I'm not into computers. You know, it's not for me. But I'm like, well, how are people going to find you? Especially, I started working with the smaller businesses like mom and pop stores and stuff like that. I would go around and ask them, you know, do you have an online presence, or do you have a website at least? I said, no, we've been here for 30 years. I'm like, okay, but if someone doesn't walk past your store, then how do they know about it? You should be on Facebook. You should be somewhere, depending on the platform or depending on the business. You should have some type of online presence. And a lot of them don't. Some of them are stubborn. You know, I've been doing it 30 years, and I'm like, okay, but you know, a lot of stuff is closing around you. So, you know, you have to be wary of that. Another thing would be protect your brand. A lot of people, you know, like I said, with the whole personal brand, gotta protect your brand as far as, you know, being aware of the decisions that you make is gonna hurt your brand. So you have to, you know, be in a positive light at all times. If there's something, even it could be the littlest infraction, because people are gonna look you up. That's the first thing people do. You get a job now. I speak to recruiters all the time. What's the first thing you do when you get when you get a hit for like a resume or something like that? Oh, we Google the person, and we check their information on Facebook. You know, and a lot of times it's not what they expect. Yeah. So you can imagine that, right? You have you went to school, you know, you got a degree or 2 or 3, but you can't get a job, and you don't know why. You're like, you know, besides the applicant tracking system, which sucks. You know, so I can't get a job. I don't know why. Well, what does your social media look like? How would they have my social media? They don't have my name. They don't know my Instagram handle. All they gotta do is put your number in. You'd be surprised at the things that people find. So that's the same speech I give entrepreneurs. You know, you have to protect your brand. If there's anything on your social media, I mean, I know Instagram's been out for a while. Even myself, some things I had were posting earlier when I first had Instagram, you have to delete it, or just make a total separate account. Yeah. Because somebody will look at it, or you know, you have people that are spiteful, and someone may just put a picture up of you. You know, you never know. Look at the girl who lost her job. She's a high school teacher down south or something. She had a picture of her. I think she's like smoking weed or something like that in a car, and like someone, you know, a parent saw it, and she lost her job. Yeah. So you went to school for 4 years to be a teacher, fairly young too. I think she was like 22, 23, teaching in the high school, and now you lost your job. But not only did you lose your job, it's on the internet, and that's forever. So, you know, now you go apply for another job, and they see that you smoke weed, and
Yeah.
you know, and you're putting these stuff, this material out on social media that shows you in a bad light, and what kind of influence are you going to be to the students?